and gentlemen, this is episode 2 of the FoutsCast. I am joined today by the young occultist KD18. How we doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. What is up?
Not much. You're the second guest guest on the show.
I'm excited. Got to follow the one and only Tyler Jones. It's pretty
Ooh,
sick.
hey, tough act to follow.
Tough act to follow.
Let's dive right in, man. So, a lot of people on here, they were pretty G'd up when they heard you're going to be on the show. Some people said, who the hell's that? They're going to find out today, right?
Right on.
All right. Hey, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got started in music?
I've been making music since I was about 14 years old. I started off wanting to learn how to play the guitar really bad, and I played guitar for a couple years, and then I started doing, I quit playing guitar to pursue being a vocalist for, deathcore, death metal bands, and I was a really big metal elitist for quite a long time, and it ended up turning into a thing where no one wanted to be in bands, and people who wanted to be in bands didn't take it seriously enough. Mm-hmm. So I switched over to, maybe I'll be a rapper. When I was 22 years old, I was like, I'll start rapping. And it's kind of took off from there, and so I just really try to intertwine my metal roots with this newfound love for underground aggressive hip-hop.
Hell yeah, definitely. That's awesome. So with, a lot of people, they're wondering, Austin, what are you doing? Having this, death metal hip-hop. Was that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. People are like, what are you doing? A lot of people don't know that you and I are actually pretty good friends.
Yeah.
We met back at 3X was the first time we saw each other?
3X, correct, yep.
Cool, and then I also did some personal training with your sister and stuff at Planet Fitness, and that kind of drew us closer. So with that being said, you are a pretty big wrestling fan.
I am. I've loved pro wrestling since I was really young, and it's kind of a funny story how I got into it, too. My mom wouldn't let me watch it, and my aunt and uncle live right next door to me, so I'd actually sneak over to my uncle's house on Monday night to watch Raw with my uncle.
Man, now you can find KD18 at almost every Iowa wrestling show. You've kind of taken over the scene. Yeah,
I try to show up a lot with Impact. The reason Impact works so well for me is because it's on weekends, and I do work through the week, and I work night shifts, so I can't really make it to 3X shows on Fridays. I really like 3X, and I like the talent there. It's a huge, awesome talent pool, but I can't make it out to everyone, but I try my best to be there for all of them.
But something you're probably noticing too is I'm glad that this almost this stigma that you can't wrestle for more than one Iowa company is kind of coming to an end.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot, especially seeing you cross promotions with 3X and Impact, and I've seen a lot of crossing going on with different talent pools, and even out-of-state talent pools coming in and working with 3X at Impact, and it's pretty neat, seeing it mesh together like that.
Right, that's something that, over with the Rugged project we're working on, obviously that first show didn't pan out too well, but March 30th we're going to be back, and that's going to be kind of another example of just the diversity of professional wrestling you could find here in Iowa. I would like to add that, KD18 will be in attendance.
I will be.
Hopefully at the next show. We might be hearing a little bit of some live music. Who knows?
Yeah. Who
knows? So we'll kind of jump back over to the music stuff.
Okay.
That's what we're focusing on here. Who are some of your inspirations?
My biggest musical inspiration actually is a surprise to most people, and it's Frank Sinatra. Excuse me. I have a fascination with old 40s and 50s Frank Sinatra era people like the Rat Pack and Dean Martin and Louis Armstrong, and I like music clear back to the 30s with Cab Calloway and stuff like that. But that's just one of my all-around musical inspirations. I just look up to Frank Sinatra a lot. In the metal genres, I look up a lot to Mitch Lucker, R.I.P. from Suicide Silence.
Nice choice.
Phil Bozeman from Whitechapel. C.J. McCannon from Thy Art Is Murder. Stuff like that. And then when we look at the hip-hop genre and who I like in that, one of my biggest influences in hip-hop is Andre 3000 and Big Boy, a.k.a. Outkast, for anyone who doesn't know their real names. Because Outkast, even back in their early days, were very, what's the word I'm looking for? Unique. That's not the right word I was looking for, but I'm going to go with it. They're very unique, and they tried stuff out that wasn't everyone's cup of tea and stuff like that. But then I'm also into people like the Sesh Hollow Waterboys, Xavier Wolf and Bones and stuff like that. And Suicide Boys, of course. Everyone who likes dark music knows the Suicide Boys. So That's kind of what I lean to, but I listen to so much of everything that it's kind of hard to just pin down, like, who it is. And that's a misconception. A lot of people think if you're into that kind of stuff, like, it's always just you like this really aggressive, angry music. And I was like, no, dude, I love people like Ryan Caraveo. Not a lot of people know about Ryan Caraveo. Dude is an amazing musician.
So, with your love for wrestling and your love for hip-hop, when are we going to see a KD18 Lil Nate crossover, huh?
If Lil Nate wants to do something, I'd be down, dude.
We're calling you out, Lil Nate. We're calling you out. We want to hear some KD18 Lil Nate music. That's what the viewers here on the FoutsCast want to hear. All right. So, next question for you.
Yeah.
When's the next music drop? You're gonna give me some dirty deets on some
music drop. Okay. I will say a little teaser. I was reached out to by a producer that I'd worked with in the past. Last Friday, not this most recent Friday, the Friday before. Mm-hmm. And he said that he didn't want anybody to do this, to rap over this beat. He wanted me to do it, and he wanted nobody else. And he said that he wanted it to be as angry, aggressive, vulgar, and violent as possible.
Okay.
Which is, I try not to do that anymore because it kind of corners you into a box. But if you've ever heard of music by like Zillakami or Sos Moolah, you'd kind of understand like the style that he wanted me to go with. And so it's just a very, very angry, vulgar, like get you pumped up type of song. And it's another little teaser on that is we are currently in the process of tracking live guitar and bass over the top of it. So it's going to have live instrumentals mixed in on the beat to add that extra bounce to it.
Damn, that sounds... Ooh, I'm getting chills just thinking about it, baby.
Yeah, it's going to have some screams, some really aggressive, like I said, vulgar. Like, it's going to be one of those that you don't want your children listening to, but it's something that I enjoyed writing, and so I hope people enjoy listening to.
There we go. Definitely. That sounds like something I'm excited for.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Awesome. So, along with that, let's talk about what's your favorite project to date?
Favorite project to date? Well, I've released probably 10 songs now. I can't think of exactly. And I think the most gratifying song I've ever released was Call Me Crowley, which was the first song I ever released. And when I got it back from being mixed and mastered, I was so hype on it, and it sounds good. And it's still to this day one of most people's favorite songs. But in recent light, I kind of look back at a lot of my older music, and I'm kind of embarrassed by it. There's very few of my old songs that I'm actually really into. And so probably my proudest song to date would have to either be Decades, which is the first song off my new EP that I just put out, Eternal Daybreak.
Which we'll be linking in the description below, baby.
Yeah, Decades was a really fun song for me to do because it's one of those kind of more angry, aggressive songs that had just some screams in the background, and when I play live shows, it's very fun to play because it's just got a lot of energy. Another really proud song that I am, though, would be my song. Am I allowed to swear on here?
You are.
Okay. I have a song called King Shit, and King Shit was the first song of my own that I'd ever mixed and mastered my own vocals for.
Right on.
And it's actually, a lot of people hear it and they're like, I think that's your best song you've ever done. And so I was pretty hype about that. But yeah, so probably Call Me Crowley, Decades, and King Shit are all probably my like 3 favorites.
You know, I'm super upset that Catastrophe did not make it into that top 3 because that is absolutely my personal. That is the host pick for favorite song by KD18.
That's my favorite song to play live if it makes you feel better.
Okay, there you go. Okay, I'll take that. I'll take it.
Because of the whole like beat cut in the middle and then that fast rap over the beat cut.
Yep.
Every time I do that, the looks of the people's faces when I play it is just like, what's going on here? They hear that beat cut, and then I come in and I just rap fast over it, and it's really like, it's kind of got that punchy vibe to it. And
awesome.
Then when that beat comes back in, everyone usually is like, oh shit, he's got bars or whatever like that. Because I
Speaking
catch people
of your live performances, do you have any coming up, or are you taking a break right now?
I'm in the process of trying to get booked on a couple currently, and it's just kind of like, it's hard to get booked on shows right now, being the style of rapper that I am,
right?
Because usually I'm too aggressive and too hardcore of a rapper for like your atypical rap show. So I play a lot with like heavy metal bands and play with like local bands like the Embalm Faction and stuff like that. And so I have to kind of get booked on metal shows, but not every metal band wants to have a rapper playing before them. It's kind of a weird mix.
You know, you go to a rap show. I mean, you go to a rap show to listen to rap. You go to a metal show to listen to metal.
Yeah.
And then when you're kind of sit there in the middle ground, it's kind of like, where do I fit in?
Yeah, but I've been kind of lucky because the style of rap I do actually kind of blends pretty well with the metal scene, especially when I get on stage and I'm more energetic and I'm like actually like screaming my lyrics. Like I said, I was a death metal vocalist for a long time, so I'm actually up on stage like moving and screaming and like trying to get everybody into it. And so it kind of blends pretty well, and a lot of people after I play is coming up to me and they're like, man, I didn't know what to think of a rapper playing on here, but that was really cool, or stuff like that. Or they tell me stuff like, you remind me of Ghostman, you remind me of Denzel Curry, which are people I look up to, so that's like...
I'm a big Denzel Curry fan.
Denzel Curry is sick.
He's got a Ghostman as well. They're just... That's kind of a side a lot of people don't know about me, is I'm a big fan of this type of music. Everybody, most of the time when you hear me in the car, I'm listening to like some Somo or some love making music because I'm just weird like that. But when I'm bumping on my own, this is the stuff I like to scream my brains out to. So, with kind of following up on the upcoming, we already kind of talked about new music releases. Mm-hmm. We talked about any potential upcoming shows. So, my question for you is, what is your goal? What are you trying to get done in 2019?
2019, I have more of a long-term goal than I do just short-term. I don't want to blow up and sizzle out. So like I'm trying to just be on a steady grow, get my plays up gradually instead of like blowing up overnight and then by the end of the year no one knows who I am. Because that's a big problem that happens in the hip hop community is. You look at, even not to name drop, but you look at like Fetty Wap. What's Fetty Wap doing nowadays?
Dude, that's the first name I thought of.
He like blew up really fast, but now he's not doing anything.
Right. Or you look at a designer who has one of the top selling songs, and then when's the last time you heard designer?
Yeah, if you're not hearing Panda, you're not Panda or Timmy Turner. You're not hearing any designer.
Right.
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid doing that by just kind of like I want to get on a more consistent release schedule, and so I can actually gain followers that way. Like, when I first started, I released a song every week for like 6 weeks. Which got a lot of music out there. But in turn, it made me feel like my music was subpar because I was so worried about writing a song to get it put out.
Right.
That my writing really decreased. And I didn't like that. And so I've been taking breaks. I wrote and recorded my EP, and I released that December 31st. So that came out December 31st. And now I think I'm going to take a little bit of a break to rework. I've got 2 EPs planned. Mm-hmm. But they're 2 totally different styles, and we can get into that later if you want. But yeah, I've got 2 EPs planned. I've got 3 songs on each. Each song's written, but I'm just going back over, working it out, kind of making sure that I like the wordplay that's in it and everything like that. And so then I'm going to probably release them 3 months apart, get half a year done.
Cool.
And just kind of focus on getting those plays up. And then I'm trying to also learn how to produce because being a producer is a big deal. Like, I can't afford to be buying exclusive beats from people all the time. I've got friends who are producers who are really good that sell them to me pretty cheap, but I can't be affording to like find one that I like and then write over it. And then when I ask them how much it is, they say like $600 or whatever because that's happened before, and I can't swing $600 on a beat.
Well, something that I think is pretty impressive. I like to, when I look back at 2018. I like to call it not a dissing, Lil Nate's gimmick, but I look at it as a 20 KD18 because, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, maybe it was early 2019, but didn't you hit pretty high number of plays?
Yeah, my SoundCloud is sitting currently at just shy of 20,000 plays.
It's now okay. Obviously, if we're talking, we're talking Hollywood, that's not crap, but
yeah,
for local small town Iowa, that's impressive.
Yeah, and to be 100% brutally honest with that is when you go to my SoundCloud page, which, like you said, you'll link in the comments, you'll notice that it doesn't say soundcloud.com/KD18, it says /Scumbag Mafia. Scumbag Mafia is me and 2 of my other friends. The majority of the plays came from one of my friends. So I'm gonna snitch on my. I'm